Hi, I'm David Scher, President of Scher Lawyers. Today I want to talk to you for a few moments about a pre-existing exclusion and whether it applies to your case. If you've made an application for disability benefits because you can't keep working at your job, you may be subject to a condition on your policy called a pre-existing exclusion. You may be asking, what is a pre-existing exclusion and why does it apply to me? Well, a pre-existing exclusion is a provision in a policy that exists to try and make sure that someone who has a long-standing history of medical problems that only recently has joined the group benefit policy should not get coverage for disability benefits. Why? Because the insurance company generally doesn't engage in a lengthy process of determining who qualifies for benefit coverage or not. So what happens is that if you do have a claim that arises shortly after you are covered for benefits at your employer, then the pre-existing exclusion may apply to you. It applies usually if you've been on the plan for a period of 1 year or less, and if you make a claim within that 1 year period, the insurance company will usually look at some of the medical history that you may have for the period prior to when you became a member under that group plan. You may say, well, why didn't I know about this before I started getting coverage and had to make my claim for disability benefits? If I had known about this, maybe I wouldn't have made the claim at that time. Well, unfortunately, most people don't really have a choice about when they claim disability. You're either able to work or you're not, and often the issue of when you stop or continue your work is dependent on your medical symptoms and condition that you're suffering from. You may not have known about it because you may not have received a benefit booklet from your employer, although they are supposed to give that to you when you become a member of the plan, or you didn't bother to read the benefit booklet because you didn't think you'd ever have to make a disability claim. Well, obviously, if you have a benefit booklet and you haven't made the claim yet, better go and have a look at it before you submit the claim, just so you have an understanding of how the policy provisions are supposed to work. Now, how can you overcome a pre-existing exclusion? Well, you can't in all circumstances, but sometimes you may be able to if the medical condition that you were suffering with before you had coverage is quite different from whatever is preventing you from working now. So for instance, if you had a long history of depression in the past, but have recently been diagnosed with bipolar or were in an accident and have suffered a post-traumatic stress disorder that may seem like depression to an insurance company or even to some of your medical providers, we may be able to argue that the new condition is quite different and distinct from the pre-existing condition that you were suffering with in the past. If you're not sure whether or not the pre-existing exclusion has been properly applied to deny you of your benefits, you should definitely consult a disability insurance lawyer that has experience dealing with these matters. Feel free to contact us at Scher Lawyers and we'll be happy to look at your case. Remember, don't give up and don't give in.